What's going on, everybody? I got a comparison video for you guys today. I'm going to be comparing three Beretta pistols. So the pistols I'm comparing today are the Beretta 92A1, Beretta PX4 Storm, and the newest of the Beretta series of pistols, the APX. So I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to try and keep this video shorter. It's probably still going to be a long video, so bear with it. So starting up is the Beretta 92A1. This is the updated set version of the Beretta 92FS. Minor upgrades to it. One is a rounded trigger guard, underside Picatinny rail. It's got an inside buffer system, and the latch automatically relocks when you put the pistol back together, as well as a captured guide rod. Minor changes, but nothing too significant. The Beretta 92A1 is the, I guess you could say, the original Beretta. When you hear somebody talk about owning a Beretta pistol, you say, hey, what kind of pistol do you own? They'll say, I own a Beretta. 9 times out of 10, this is what they're talking about. This pistol has built a name and reputation for itself, primarily for its looks and the fact that it's in movies everywhere. If you look at the Die Hard, the original couple Die Hard movies with Bruce Willis acting as John McClane, the 92 was his gun, or the M9. Lethal Weapon is another excellent example. Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson's character, just constantly carrying, they coveted the M9. Along with the fact, most importantly for Beretta, this pistol was adopted by the US military for a substantial amount of time. And I feel adopting this pistol was an excellent choice by them. So let's go over some of the features. Starting first with magazines. The standard Beretta 92 magazine holds 15 rounds. There are updated versions that hold 17. Living in Canada, however, they will hold 10. Continuing on working our way up the pistol, I have a whole grip on this pistol. Normally it just comes with kind of 2 checkered side straps. I personally like it just because it has the finger grooves. Magazine release is fairly small and flushed in with, at least with this whole grip, where if you have the standard grips on, it's fairly protruding. It's easy to hit. However, it is a very stiff magazine release. This pistol has seen well over 8,000 rounds, and that magazine release is still extremely stiff. Continuing on, the grip shape is got an exaggerated S-curve. It's nothing too sharp, but however, in your hand, when you pick this pistol up, it is very comfortable to hold. And it's just very ergonomic. It's an excellent pistol. That being said, it is big. It is thick, so you might have to bear with it. The pistol itself is a double action, single action, hammer fired. It has 2 firing modes, so generally speaking, if you're carrying the pistol, this is how you'd be carrying it. So your first trigger pull is a double action pull. And that pull is designed to be heavy and deliberate. It's right around 10 pounds. It's a very heavy pull. However, after every subsequent follow-up shot, the pistol goes into single action mode. And this is where the Beretta 92 series shines. Is this single action trigger is excellent. I'll show you the take up. When you hit the wall, it is like a 1911. It is glass. As soon as you break that wall, there's zero creep. The reset, however, is kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. When I reset it, see, you can hear it, but you can't feel it. You have no idea that if you're shooting in rapid succession and this pistol resets, you would have no idea it reset. Now, one of the big controversies for the 92 series is the slide-mounted safety. When people rack the slide, they sometimes inadvertently activate the safety. And unfortunately, that disables the pistol completely. It also acts as a decocker. So let's say the pistol's cocked and you don't want it cocked anymore. You simply flick the safety down. It decocks the pistol, disables the firearm completely. Putting this in the hands of new shooters, when they see that hammer drop, they usually flinch because they expect the pistol to go off. So it definitely takes some practice and getting used to with the pistol. Sight-wise, you've got your standard 3-dot system. Nothing fancy. Continuing on, this is by far the biggest of the Beretta pistols. This is actually one of the biggest full-size pistols on the market. It's heavy, it's big. And it definitely is not the most desirable, especially with modern day. It's not the most desirable pistol to carry when there are smaller, higher capacity options out there. Your slide serrations, as you can see, very fine texturing. Field strip. So to field strip the 92 series, there's a button right here. You push in, and you rotate down 45 degrees. Or 90 degrees, sorry. And then you just pull straight off. Going on further than that, it's just as much as taking out the recoil, your captured or your non-captured guide rod assembly, and your barrel. That's it. That's basic field strip for the Beretta 92. Reassembly is literally just the exact opposite. Now the nice thing with the A1 series is when you rack it closed, you can see, it locks up automatically. Now the gun itself, it's an aluminum frame steel slide, so weight-wise, she's a little heavy. But an incredible gun to shoot. It's extremely comfortable, and it's a very smooth pistol. The Beretta 92 series has always been a smooth pistol to shoot. But working our way up, and I guess you would call the more updated version, this is the Beretta PX4 Storm. This is kind of the newest iteration of, or not the newest, but this was the newer iteration. This pistol was designed specifically to replace the 92. It holds a lot of the same features, but it also keeps itself updated. Some of the features you'll notice are similar, is the double action, single action, the hammer, as well as the controversial slide safety. This one, however, is much smaller. It's more recluse and more tight to the slide, but it still acts as a safety decocker. So, again, like the 92, it has a double action pull. So, the double action on the PX4 Storm I find to be heavier. It's definitely heavier. I don't know how much heavier, but it is noticeably more difficult to pull through the double action. When you get to the single action, the trigger is identical to the 92. It breaks so nice. The reset, however, it is better than the 92, but I wouldn't say it's like holy shit, this trigger's so much better. It is a good trigger, but again, it leaves a little to be desired. Continuing on with the pistol, this one was designed to be slightly more ambidextrous than the 92 series. The 92 series primarily is built for a right-hand shooter. This bad boy here, you can reverse the magazine catch to either side, make it good for left-hand use. The safety is obviously ambidextrous. The slide stop, however, is not. The slide stop, you're kind of stuck with where it is. The pistol itself has the same kind of slide serrations as the 92. However, it has them on the front and the back. So, for those of you who press check. Now, one noticeable feature with the Storm, which Beretta made a real decision to go away from the norm, is its rotating barrel system. So, I'll see if I can show you guys this. There, you see how the barrel's rotating 45 degrees? That allows for when the pistol is in battery and locked up, it allows for 180 degrees of contact inside the pistol. Which allows for incredible accuracy out of a pistol because it's so locked up and so tight. The pistol itself is acting a lot, or the barrel and the slide system is acting a lot like a bolt-action rifle when it's locked up. It allows it to be very accurate. You'd be surprised how accurate this pistol is. Continuing on, what they did was they added some slightly more aggressive texturing to the pistol, excluding the side straps. The side straps, it's actually bare smooth. But they also added a backstrap system, so you get a small, medium, and large backstrap. So not only is this an excellent pistol, now what they've done is they've given you the ability to fit it to your hand much better than the original design, than the original 92 series. The magazine release, again, it's very reminiscent of the 92. It's got a little bit more of an exaggerated teardrop shape. It is, again, very stiff, though. This pistol itself seen about 4,000 rounds, and it is stiff. Field strip. There's some common misconception with the Storm that when you're field stripping the pistol, you have to slightly pull back on the slide to relieve the pressure off of the spring on the takedown lever. This is completely incorrect. When you're pulling down, you literally have these tabs on either side of the pistol, and all you do is just pull down, and with your other hand, you just push straight across, and there. Now, this is where the pistol slightly differentiates from the 92 series with field strip. I keep knocking the camera around, I'm sorry. You see you have this additional cam system. So when you pull it off, this cam right here on this notch is what rides inside of a groove inside the barrel. You can see the groove here. Rides inside that groove to cause the barrel to rotate. Now, the nice thing with the Storm is it was designed specifically that when you are disassembling and reassembling it, it's impossible to reassemble it incorrectly. And there we go. Completely disassembled. That's your field strip. The Storm, to me personally, is an amazing pistol. It's a really, really, really good pistol. Very reliable, very accurate, and the price isn't half bad. In Canada, I'm not going to lie, it's still fairly expensive, but for what you get, I definitely feel it's worth it. The Storm, however, unlike the 92, commercially, at least in my eyes, was an absolute failure. This pistol saw very little law enforcement adoption. It is, however, adopted by the Canadian Border Services Agency, or the CBSA. They carry the PX4 Storm double action only model. And I think that was a terrible idea on their part, getting a double action only. They should have got, like this model here, the Type G, where after your first shot, it's now cocked. But you know what? Whatever works for them. But aside from that, commercially, the pistol, it's never seen large scale pickup with the civilian market. It's never seen large scale with law enforcement or military. I'm sure there are some law enforcement agencies out there who have this, but they're few and far between. And I think that's a real shame because this is such an amazing pistol and it deserves so much more than what it got. That being said, I feel Beretta is partially to blame for this, is they never really pushed this pistol. You never see much in the way of advertising or marketing or them putting this in the hands of even big YouTubers. A lot of big YouTubers, there's not a whole lot of them that do good in-depth reviews on these pistols. And it's heartbreaking because the Storm, again, is an amazing pistol. Now, something to note before I forget is all the pistols have a plunger safety system. The 92A1, the PX4 Storm, and the APX. So if you watch, you see that little tab there that pops up? That's the plunger safety. So even if these guns are cocked and the hammer falls, unless the trigger is pulled, there's a block in front of the firing pin that prevents it from striking the primer of a round. The 92A1 has it by far the biggest. See the size of that big square that pops up there? Now with the safety engaged, it actually, the firing pin block does still pop up, but it's useless because the pistol's decocked. Alright, so moving on to the newest. This is Beretta's latest and greatest Italian Stallion. I picked this up not too long ago. I have fired 50 rounds through it, so I can't really comment on how well it shoots. I just haven't put enough rounds through it. But I was ecstatic when I saw that they released these into Canada. I was so excited to get ready to get to it. Start from the bottom to the top. Magazines are very reminiscent of the PX4 Storm. The standard capacity is 17 rounds. Obviously in Canada, these hold 10. And for you Canadians in here, these are made to 17, block to 10. They are not made to 10, so loading them is an absolute piece of cake. When you hear with like the Storm and the APX trying to get the 17th round in there, 15, 16, 17 rounds, you're going to break your thumb. These bad boys, because they only hold 10, it's a piece of cake to open. Hi, dog. Zeke says hi, everybody. And he wants to play rope. Get 5 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so continuing on with this pistol, I'm going to work my way from the bottom to the top. It has slight finger grooves. They're not heavily exaggerated like on the 92A1 or on something like, say, a Gen 3, Gen 4 Glock. They're just barely there. But when you pick up this pistol, it feels just absolutely incredible in your hand. This is going to sound kind of funny, but this feels like it's having sex with your hand right now. That's how comfortable this is. It's just right there. It's so good in your hand. When I first picked this up, I immediately know I was like, I have to have it. Continuing away, the texturing on it, on the back and the front straps, is fairly aggressive. It gives you the feeling of the RTF2 finish on the Glock Gen 3.5s. Gives the same feeling. This right here on the sides is not too aggressive, but it is noticeable. You do feel it in the palm of your hand when you're holding it. So that's definitely a nice feature of it to have. Continuing our way up, the magazine release is a very large style teardrop shape. And it's great. It's not a stiff magazine release. It's very easy to push. You can push it even when you have a full grip on the gun. I really like that magazine release. It's very positive. And even the spring. Oh, that's... you see what I did there? I just tried to put the PX4 mag in here. The magazine release, as you can see, it's very positive. Working our way up, the trigger. The trigger is very different. I'm not used to a trigger like this. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it's a flat face trigger. It's very flat with a Glock safety tang. Now, some people I've heard are actually really against the safety tang. It doesn't bother me too much. You don't really notice it when you're actually pulling the trigger. But I'm gonna try and zoom in on this. Now watch. See the creep? The reset is excellent. It's audible and tactile. You can feel it reset. But the brake, look at the creep. The brake leaves a bit to be desired. Now, I've heard people saying that after shooting it for a while, the trigger itself gets a lot better. I'm inclined to believe that, because it was the same thing with my Jericho pistols. As I shot them more, the trigger broke in more. So I'm inclined to believe that. As it stands right now, I'm not a fan of the trigger, but I have a feeling, again, after shooting it, I'm going to learn to love it. When working our way up, the pistol itself is completely ambidextrous. This is a totally left and right hand friendly gun. The slide stop is on both sides, unlike the 92 and the PX4 where it's only on one side. The magazine release can be easily swapped within minutes to each side. The APX also offers a feature that its predecessors did not. The ability to swap the entire grip assembly. I'm going to be 100% real with you guys. That is such a bullshit gimmick, ooh, look what we can do thing. It is totally useless. You know, a lot of people complain about how the APX is harder to do it to than the P320, the SIG 320. And I just laugh at that because how many times are you actually swapping out the grip frame? It's something you're probably going to do once, maybe twice. On the APX, you have no reason to because the fact that it comes with back straps. You have no reason whatsoever to have to swap the frame out. I mean, sure, if you want to change the color, by all means. But aside from that, there's no reason to do that. With SIG, I feel they made a mistake doing that instead of using a backstrap system because when you buy a P320, if the medium size doesn't fit your hand, you have to go out and spend an additional almost $60 just to have the gun fit your hand properly. With the APX, you don't have to do that. The APX, when you buy it, you can fit it to your hand right away with backstraps. The only reason you change the frame is if you want to change the color. But that's just my opinion. I'm sure some people are going to absolutely disagree with me, and I get that, but it just, to me, it seems like one of those, you know, look what we can do, but you're never actually going to do it. It's a useless feature, in my opinion. I'm sure it's great for firearm maintenance and things like that, but again, a pistol like this, when Beretta was producing them, they fired well over 1 million rounds, prototyping these different variations of the APX, trying to make it everything that it can be. Leave the cat alone! But again, that's just my opinion. We're going to work our way up. So the cocking serrations are different. They're way out of the norm from what Beretta normally does with their cocking serrations. They work really well. You can get a purchase on the pistol absolutely anywhere. Like if you want to, it works so well for those cocking serrations. Now, if you covered up the logo, you'd be kind of questioning who produces this pistol, because this looks nothing like something Beretta would produce. Especially because one of the noticeable features on Beretta pistols, the slide-mounted safety. The APX doesn't have that. Field strip, I'm going to do this really quick. This video's starting to drag on too long, I'm sorry. It's got to be dry-fired. Again, it has that plunger safety. Push in on the button. It is very stiff. Rotate down. Take it apart. The APX has a dual captured recoil spring, and the guide rod itself, the dog just broke a glass. The guide rod itself is metal. And let's get the barrel out of here. The barrel on the PX4 Storm and the 92 is chrome lined. This guy does not look chrome lined. I'm going to assume it's probably some kind of nitride treatment. Reassembly is the exact opposite of what I just told you. Beretta says that the guide rod is good. It's going to last about 4 times longer than any other pistol guide rod on the market. And I'm inclined to believe that with the amount of testing that they did. Because the nice thing with the APX is when you buy this pistol was built, was built solely for a military contract. So you're getting military grade quality very well. Closing the video out, price-wise, in Canada, $650. I got it for less because I bought it on a deal at the time when my gun store was doing it. I bought this guy for about $930 way back, about 3 years ago. And 5 years ago, I bought this guy for just shy of $1,000. So the APX blows its predecessors out of the market for price, as well as ergonomics. And I feel any of these pistols... Zeke! Any of these pistols would be an excellent option for you. Now, if I had to pick one of the 3, which my favorite would be, tough call. My heart will always belong to the 92. This was my first pistol. So I'm always going to have a place in my heart for the 92A1. That being said, as it stands right now, so, you know, this could change, but I love the APX. I absolutely love it. This is by far probably one of my favorite pistols I have now. And I intend to set this as my primary 9mm for when I'm going to the range. I hope this pistol is successful like the 92 series was. Beretta deserves every bit of it. They deserve law enforcement military contract with designing a pistol like this. And it's just fantastic. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see y'all next time.